Hey, good evening, brothers and sisters in Christ. Um, this is my very first video. My name is Peter Wynn, and I just want to share my testimony with you guys. Um, I've been feeling led to make this video for a while, and just there have been some circumstances in my life where I just feel like I was just kind of fearful about my professional life, my um, yeah, just really my my professional life really, and how this could affect it. But you know, um, just to clue you guys in, I am a senior at UNL right now, and this is my last semester before I graduate with a elementary ed certificate to be a teacher. And obviously, we know that um, preaching about Jesus and preaching about heaven and hell and how Jesus is our Lord and Savior. It's not something that they want in the public schools. And so, the last month or so of student teaching, I've made the conscious decision to basically say, I have no idea if I want to be a teacher or not. I really don't. Um, I feel like I feel a real uneasiness when I think about myself being a teacher, and I think that's God telling me that's not what He has in store for me. And believe me, my the last 5 or 6 years, I've been really fighting my intuition and telling myself, man, like, come on, you're so close to being done. Just get through it, and maybe it'll work out. Maybe you'll find that passion for teaching in this system again. No, it's gotten worse. I've lost all hope in the education system, the public education system, anyway. And as a firm believer, I mean, we just know that it's gonna get worse. So it just is what it is. I'm okay with it, and yeah. But I just want to jump into my testimony here. I made a video at like 5 o'clock, and I'm not the best speaker. I don't really like to talk that much unless I know you. So obviously, this video is kind of hard for me to do. Not because I'm shy or not. I mean, I am shy, but also just speaking ability is not there. You know, and it took like an hour for the whole testimony to be done, and you. I waited like 2.5 hours for it to upload and process, and then for YouTube to just basically say like, "Hey, this is way too long. This can't work." I was like, "Really?" But just gonna jump right into it. Okay, I want to make this like a 30-minute video. Okay, so basically, I graduated high school in 2013. Started going to UNL right after, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew I had the passion to work with students. I had the passion to hang out with them and get along with them, and just you know, I know many people don't have that ability, don't have that patience or whatever, and I just kind of had that naturally. But I think it's because I'm still a kid at heart. I think if you ask anybody that truly knows me, they'll say that. If they've seen my real side. But anyway, went into college 2013 to UNL, Lincoln, Nebraska. That's where I live, born and raised. And it was it was a drastic change from high school. Obviously, different place and all that, but just all the people. And in high school, I would say that I was a friendly guy. I was friends with quite a few people, and I was just kind of known as that goofy, funny, kind of jokester type of guy. But deep down, looking back at it, I was just a people pleaser. I told people what they wanted to hear. I made dumb jokes that just for laughs and stuff like that. I mean, that's just who I was. And if you, I wouldn't say I'm like that. I wouldn't say that I'm like that now. Um, Life is a lot different for me now. I see the world a lot differently now. I see people a lot differently now, and I don't know if that's a great thing. But we're gonna anyway. Um, so naturally in high school, I always kind of had that attention for whatever reason, and in sorry, I was looking at my camera. But in college, that kind of went away because there's thousands of people that go to UNL. UNL is a Big Ten conference school or whatever. And for some reason, I just had this selfish, egotistical, entitled personality to me where I was just like, I'm a cool guy. I'm a super cool guy. People should talk to me. People should want to talk to me. People should give me attention and things of that nature. And I'll tell you what, God really humbled me in my college years. He truly, truly humbled me in a way that I could not ever expect. And it was such a huge and powerful surprise the way He worked in my life during that time. I had absolutely no solution for it. There's absolutely no way that I could have solved what He did to me. Okay, so let's get into it. Freshman year was cool, whatever. Like I said, I went through the whole identity crisis thing about like, man, like people should talk to me, people should want to be with me, whatever. Just self entitlement. That didn't really go away, I mean, if anything, it got worse my sophomore year. And then in the teacher program, basically, um, you have to go through certain classes before you get admitted into the program. Okay, and the program basically is 2 semesters. One is called literature block, and the other is called math block. And it's just basically teaching techniques and teaching strategies on how to basically um, I don't know, identify certain strategies to use in certain circumstances. Just understanding the curriculum, understanding what is expected out of us as teachers going into this field. Well, just whatever. Just basically, it's just like an introduction to what we're supposed to know about. Because literature and because reading and math is just huge. Obviously, they're huge skills. So they dedicated these 2 semesters to just those subjects. We had practicums and everything, and well, anyway, before you get to that, you have to take this state test. They call it the praxis, and basically it's like an ACT. Grades you on it tests you on math, reading, and writing, and you have to get a certain score for you to get admitted into this program or whatever. And it's $150 to take all three. And in high school, I wasn't the best student. Didn't always get the best grades. Just did the bare minimum, and so that obviously showed. When I was taking this test, I failed it like 4 or 5 times. Lost a lot of money. Obviously, you do the math: 150 times 5 or whatever. And ultimately, I was just like, dang, I ain't gonna pass it. I gotta take. I basically I didn't get kicked out because of academic probation or nothing. Shoot, I was on the dean's list like 3 semesters in a row. Yeah, and you need a 3.75 to be on the dean's list or whatever. So I was grinding, I was doing my thing because like my family, I would be the first student. I would be the first person to graduate a 4-year college, and I still will be after this semester. But anyway, they basically was like, hey, like, you've got no other prerequisites you can take. You got no other electives you can take at this time, and because you couldn't pass this test to be admitted into these classes, um, you can't go on to the next semester. And I was like, for real, like, wow, like you're not gonna take into consideration anything else, work ethic, grades, GPA, nothing. Can't give me no benefit of the doubt. Can't even give me like a provisional pass or anything. They were like, nope, can't do that. I said, you got no other aides? You got nothing? You got nothing else? No other assistants? You got no um, welfare assistance or anything? Because I'm a broke dude. They were like, yeah, no, we can't. It's not just my income. I'm talking about my whole family's income. I'm not just talking about all college students are broke. I'm talking about my family's income is broke. And usually they have programs like that. And they were just like, nope, sorry. So I took a year and a half off from college. And this is where a lot of things kind of went downhill for me. This is where God started playing his hand on my life. He's been playing his hand on my life forever, but this is when he was said, you know what, Peter? It's time to humble you, son. It's time for you to take a seat and understand your role. And so, got into some bad things. Started smoking marijuana a lot with my friends. What started as like doing it a couple times a week ended up being me buying a big amount and just smoking it for myself and just I never thought I was gonna be addicted, but I kind of got addicted to it. And I remember my friend asking me one time. She was like, "You smoke weed?" And I said, super proud. I was like, "Yeah, I smoke weed. What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Why? You all right? You feel all right?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I took offense to it, and she was just kind of like, usually people who smoke weed, going through some things. And I was like, "No, I'm perfectly fine." But little did I know, excuse me, I was going through some depression and all that, and just struggling with self-value, self-esteem issues, and that teacher program, they have like a certain demographic of people who are always trying to be teachers. They're Caucasian and white girls, and they're Caucasian females, and great speakers, great presenters of themselves, and that's a huge strength in teaching. And me, I never had that strength. Still don't really have that strength. And that played a huge role in my self-esteem. I was like, wow, I am a brown man, Asian, in the class amongst all these people with money. They can present themselves well, got nice clothes or whatever. And I was just like, here I am looking, I got sweatpants, slippers on, just trying to get through college. So I felt like a needle in a haystack. And then to throw on it that test, and I was just like, wow, like maybe I just wasn't made to be a teacher. I can't even pass this basic thing. So I subconsciously started smoking, and I didn't work that year and a half off. I didn't. Ashamed of it, but well, what can you do? Can't take it back. And then I started to realize that I had no responsibilities. I had marijuana that I could smoke, and I was able to basically dictate all the things that I wanted. I could stay at home. I could talk to whoever I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted, and I found myself very easily isolated. And the first thing that happened to me when I isolated myself for so long was my ability to be social. I found it very hard to make eye contact with everybody. Everybody, strangers, family, my girlfriend's family, even sometimes my girlfriend, everything. Just gone. You don't use it, you lose it. It's true. I was like a hermit in my own little room. And I didn't even know how much damage it was doing to me until it was too late. And one day I was just I don't know. Lost a lot of relationships, and just did a lot of harm to me, you know. I'm trying to think about what I was doing here, what I talked about in my last video. So shoot, I got a brain fart. That's what I tell the kids at school when I can't think of something. And I said I said I got a brain fart, and instead of being embarrassed, I just try to make them laugh, and that works. So that happened, and that's what I was thinking about. That's what I would say God really worked his hand on me to humble me, because I had already low self-esteem about myself. Now I could not talk to people. I had no confidence to keep eye contact. Couldn't engage in small talk. Couldn't engage in conversation. Couldn't engage in nothing. And I was just, you were talking to a wall, because I was just so self-conscious about what I would say. I hadn't, I was just like, man, I was just worried that everything I would say was not good enough. It was just, like I said, that people pleaser in me was truly attacking me, you know what I mean? It was just, and man, I wish I could upload that hour video, because man, that had so much information in it. But basically, I was depressed. And I had social anxiety. I had this huge spirit of heaviness over me, and it just prevented me from doing so many different things. And this was something that I had never experienced before in my life, ever. Because I used to be that kid that was just laughing, having fun, just making jokes or whatever. I was kind of bully though, but like just cracking jokes. That's it. Not like, anyway, nothing in my life could give me that inner peace that I wanted, the inner peace that I couldn't feel. And I was going through this social anxiety and this depression and this whole exhaustion of just not being able to feel comfortable in my own shoes. I went through this for about 3.5 to 4 years. How exhausting is that? Can't go anywhere. I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to go through drive-thrus. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I couldn't talk to my family. Couldn't even make eye contact with my family. Imagine not being able to talk to people you've been raised next to your whole life. And if you can't talk to them, how can you talk to anybody? And that's what I was going through for 3.5 to 4 years before I met Christ. My girlfriend of 6 years, she couldn't get me through this depression. My friends and my family couldn't get me through this depression. Financial stability couldn't get me through. Having all these materials in my life could not get me through. Nothing could get me through. And so one day guys, I'm gonna have to make another video, okay? And it's good that I stopped right here. It's part 1, okay? So, if you want to know more about it and how God cured me of social anxiety and spirit of depression and heaviness and things of that nature, then please watch the next video, because this isn't a testimony about how he saved my life, about how he saved me from bullets or a car wreck or a airplane crash or anything like that. It's nothing like that, but it's just as important. I don't know how many people kill themselves a day through suicide, and it's all a mental thing. Overthinking, these voices in your head, they're not of you. And the sooner that you understand that you were made in the image of God, and that anything negative that's going in your mind is not of you, just like Derek Prince said, you're 80% there. Truly you are. And if you're going through something like this, you know how exhausting it is. You just know that you just never feel comfortable. Your heart's always racing. Your mind's thinking about things 100 times over. You don't spit out any words because you're just like, whatever I say will just cause strife, or you'll sound dumb, or people will take it the wrong way. There is absolutely no rest in a mental illness. Absolutely none. So if you're going through this, I know what you feel. I know how you feel. And for a long time, I did not think I was going to get through it. Then one day I was delivered. So hey, check out my next video. And brothers and sisters, I love you. This is my very first video. My name is Peter Wayne. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm 24 years old. And God is so good. God is so good. What else can I say? And I just want to add to his kingdom. I want to be a faithful servant to him. And this is one of the best ways I know how. So, alright. You guys be cool. I'm going to record the next video. Peace.